Love the Ravens as much as we do? Then smash that subscribe button and stay locked in with Flock News for all the drama updates and excitement all season long. It's the kind of news that makes your jaw drop, your coffee spill, and your group chat. I light up in absolute disbelief. And yet here we are. Whispers have turned into murmurs, murmurs into buzz, and the buzz, well, it's reaching a full-blown roar. Justin Jefferson. Yes, that Justin Jefferson, the crown jewel of the Minnesota Vikings offense, is now being spotted in Baltimore Ravens gear. That's right. We're talking about a wide receiver who redefined separation route running and made Kirk Cousins look like a borderline MVP at times, now possibly catching bombs from Lamar Jackson. Sources close to the Ravens facility claim he's been seen around the building meeting with key staff and reportedly house hunting in the Baltimore area. But before we get carried away, let's pump the brakes a bit. Nothing has been officially confirmed by either franchise. Still, there's way too much smoke here for there not to be a fire. Jefferson in purple and black. That's the kind of shift that breaks the AFC wide open. If this move is real and everything's pointing that direction, then Baltimore isn't just gunning for the playoffs anymore. They're going Allen on a Super Bowl run. You can practically feel the energy shift around the league just from the mere suggestion of this move. Think about it. The Ravens, for all their strengths, have always had this one glaring hole in their armor, an elite, consistent, dominant wide receiver. They've built around Lamar Jackson with power, speed, and defense. But when it came to the receiver room, it's always felt like a committee effort. Respect to Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, and the crew. But Justin Jefferson, that's different. That's a WR1 with capital letters. That's a game changer. A player who doesn't just take pressure off the quarterback. He redefines the passing. He commands double coverage. He creates mismatches. And most importantly, he makes plays that shouldn't even be possible. Fans in Baltimore are already speculating if this is the missing piece to finally elevate the franchise to dynastic status. Imagine a readoption threat with Lamar plus Mark Andrews eating up the middle and Jefferson torching corners on the outside. That's not just scary, that's illegal in some states. So whether this is a strategic leak, a cleverly timed PR stunt, or a genuine blockbuster in motion, one thing is clear: Baltimore might be cooking something special. And just to add fuel to their already roaring fire, let's talk about social media breadcrumbs. Because in today's NFL, trades don't just happen behind closed doors anymore. Players hint, tease, and sometimes outright troll fans with cryptic emojis, location tags, and subtle follows. This week, eagle-eyed fans noticed Justin Jefferson suddenly following Lamar Jackson on Instagram. Coincidence, maybe. But then came the double tap. Jefferson liked a post showing him photoshopped into a Ravens jersey. Now that's not subtle, that's bold. That's practically a billboard. And as if that wasn't enough, a Baltimore-based real estate agent posted, and quickly deleted, a tweet claiming she had just met a superstar WR client looking for privacy and security. Not exactly airtight confirmation, but let's not pretend NFL players don't use real estate moves as smoke signals. When stars align like this, it's rarely random. Could this all be a massive coincidence? Sure, but in the NFL, rumor mill coincidence usually means you're about 2 days away from an Adam Schefter bomb. Baltimore fans are refreshing their feeds. Vikings fans are panicking, and the rest of the league is watching with bated breath. Let's also take a moment to talk about the Vikings' perspective here. Why would Minnesota even entertain letting go of arguably the best wide receiver in football? We're talking about a player who just recently made history with one of the most explosive starts to a career in league history. A player who has been the heartbeat of that offense, the marketing face of the franchise, and an icon to the fan base. Well, the cracks may have started to show months ago. Jefferson's contract negotiations were reportedly tense with insiders, suggesting he was looking for numbers that would reset the entire wide receiver market. Think Tyreek Hill plus 20%. Minnesota, on the other hand, seems to be in a weird in-between. Not quite rebuilding, not quite contending. Kirk Cousins left. The QB room is uncertain. Maybe the front office saw this as a window to retool and recoup. Massive value. If Jefferson wasn't happy, or if the team didn't want to commit $35 million per year to a wideout during a roster transition, then a trade begins to make strategic sense. Painful, yes, risky, absolutely, but sometimes even great. Teams hit reset. Then there's the salary cap puzzle. Always the elephant in the room. For Baltimore to make a move like this, the numbers have to work. And on the surface, it seems like a tight squeeze. Lamar just got paid. Roquan Smith has a hefty contract. Ronnie Stanley, Marlon Humphrey, the big names aren't playing cheap. So where's the money coming from? Well, according to one insider, the Ravens have been quietly restructuring contracts behind the scenes for the past 2 weeks. Moves that at the time seemed routine, converting bonuses, freeing cap space. But in hindsight, look very much like preparation, like they knew something big was on the horizon. Add to that the recent release of a few depth veterans, and you start to see the outline of a plan. Maybe Jefferson's first-year cap hit is reduced with a creative deal. Maybe the Vikings are eating some of the money. Either way, this doesn't feel like a spontaneous decision. It feels like the result of months of back-channel conversations, planning, and execution. That's what makes this whole thing so believable. Because no matter how wild it sounds, it actually makes sense when you follow the money. From a football standpoint, the fit is almost too perfect. Justin Jefferson isn't just a star, he's a system. He can line up outside in the slot, motion, pre-snap, draw doubles, and still win. He's physical, crafty, and outrageously athletic. In Greg Roman's old defense, a player like that might have been underutilized. But with Todd Monken calling the plays now, Baltimore is airing it out. More. Last season saw a big philosophical shift. More spread, more tempo, more passing volume. Lamar is no longer a run-first quarterback. He's evolving. Giving him a weapon like Jefferson at this stage of his career could be the final step into superstardom. We've seen QBs take that leap when they finally get their elite WR. Think Josh Allen with Diggs or Hurts with A.J. Brown. Baltimore knows this. If the Ravens are making this move, it's not just about 2025. It's about building a decade-long contender. And Jefferson, he might just be the kind of player who turns a very good team into an unstoppable one. That's why this rumor isn't going away. Because the fit makes too much sense for it not to at least be real. And then, of course, there's the emotional reaction. The gut punch this could be for Vikings fans. Let's not sugarcoat it, this would hurt. We're talking about a homegrown star drafted, developed, and embraced by the entire Minnesota community. Justin Jefferson has been the bright spot in some otherwise frustrating seasons. He's been the guy kids idolize, the guy who sells jerseys, the guy who makes Sunday highlights go viral. Losing him isn't just losing production, it's losing identity. But if there's one silver lining, it's that Minnesota might be getting a haul in return. Rumors suggest the deal could include multiple first-round picks, a young defensive player, and possibly even a wide receiver swap. Names like Odell Beckham Jr., David Ojabo, or even Rashad Bateman are being thrown around. Still, even the best trade package can't replace a player like Jefferson easily. The Vikings are betting on the future. Ravens fans, they're dreaming about it now. It's a rare moment where both sides might be right. And yet one side will almost certainly feel like they lost more. Especially if Jefferson hits the ground running and lights up the AFC North like we all know he can. Before we move on, let's consider one last angle that could really tie everything together. Jefferson's camp has been uncharacteristically quiet lately. His agent hasn't spoken to media. His usually active Twitter account has been mostly silent, minus a cryptic post saying simply, "Time tells all." That's not nothing. When you're a player of Jefferson's stature, silence is often louder than words. It usually means something is happening behind the scenes that can't be spoken about publicly yet. Fans are dissecting every move, every post, every photo. A story is unfolding in real time. And right now it feels like we're on the verge of something massive. Could this be another NFL fake out possibly? But we've seen this script before. High-profile player trade rumors, smoke signals on social media, and then boom, Schefter tweet ESPN special jerseys on sale. Jefferson in Baltimore isn't just a fantasy at this point. It's a whisper, turning into a war cry. And if this deal does go down, the entire balance of power in the AFC could shift overnight. Stay tuned because this is far from over. Now let's talk about the ripple effect this could have across the AFC North and beyond. Teams are already waking up to a nightmare scenario. Picture this: the Steelers with an aging Ben Roethlisberger replacement trying to cover Justin Jefferson, while Lamar Jackson launches bombs from the pocket or on the run. The Browns suddenly have to deal with Jefferson's explosive explosive speed, in addition to Andrews and a reshaped receiving core. Even the Bengals with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase would feel the heat. Imagine scouting reports, game planning, and defensive schematics getting flipped upside down overnight. It's almost unfair. A star like Jefferson doesn't just improve his team, he forces the rest of the league to reinvent their strategy. Coaches start overthinking coverages, defensive coordinators worry about every snap, and suddenly what seemed like a balanced division turns into a minefield for anyone trying to compete with Baltimore. The rumor alone is enough to send fans into frenzy and front offices into a panic. Draft boards are reconsidered. Free agent plans are being adjusted, and analysts are scrambling to understand how the Ravens might squeeze Jefferson into an already talented roster. The entire landscape is shifting, and this is all before the ink is even on a contract. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. Then there's the offensive identity transformation, which could be monumental. Baltimore has always been Lamar's playground, a team built around his legs' mobility and improvisational magic. But adding Jefferson would tilt the balance dramatically toward the passing game. Think about the dynamic plays we've already seen. Jefferson can break a 50-yard gain from a short slant. He can make contested catches on 3rd and long. He can literally turn a 5-yard dump-off into a 70-yard touchdown. With Lamar in the backfield, that opens options for Lamar to read defenses, pre-snap throw on the move, and create mismatches no one can defend. Pair that with Mark Andrews in the middle and a supporting cast of speedy tight ends and receivers, and you have a nightmare matchup for every defensive coordinator in the league. Jefferson doesn't just fit, he could redefine the Ravens' offensive philosophy overnight. Suddenly the run-pass balance shifts. Suddenly defenses have to respect the deep threat constantly, which opens the middle of the field for Andrews and the short route specialists. And let's not forget Jefferson thrives on momentum. One big play can snowball into an entire offense clicking at an unprecedented level. Now the psychological aspect can't be ignored either. Bringing in a superstar of Jefferson's magnitude sends a loud message to the locker room. It signals ambition, a winnow mindset, and confidence in Lamar's ability to lead this team to the highest level. Players who are questioning the ceiling suddenly see a ceiling extended beyond their wildest dreams. Younger players in Baltimore would get to learn from Jefferson's work ethic, route precision, and competitive intensity. The culture could shift overnight. Conversely, Minnesota's locker room could experience tension, regret, or even a sense of betrayal. When a player of Jefferson's caliber leaves, it doesn't just change the lineup, it changes the identity of the franchise. Rumors are swirling about potential internal disagreements, missed contract negotiations, and subtle hints that the Vikings front office may have misjudged Jefferson's desire for immediate contention. The narrative here is juicy, dramatic, and exactly the kind of soap opera the NFL thrives on. Baltimore, on the other hand, gains not only a player, but a symbol, a cornerstone for the next era. Let's examine the potential statistical explosion, if this rumor comes true. Jefferson averaged over 1,800 receiving yards last season with 14 touchdowns, incredible numbers by any metric. Combine that with Lamar Jackson's dual threat capabilities, and suddenly the Ravens' projected passing yardage and scoring potential jumps into elite territory. Imagine every defensive coordinator trying to contain Jefferson on the outside while Lamar escapes pressure and finds open lanes. Jefferson could easily post 100 receptions in a season, over 1,700 yards, and double-digit touchdowns, creating historic fantasy and real-life implications. And the domino effect doesn't stop there. Defenses would have to rotate coverage, leaving gaps for Andrews, Bateman, or Flowers to exploit. The Ravens' rushing game would also benefit as linebackers force it into coverage on Jefferson open lanes for runs. Hypothetically, this isn't just an addition. It's an upgrade that could statistically vault Baltimore into a top-tier offensive juggernaut. Analysts are already running projections debating whether Jefferson's arrival could catapult Lamar into MVP conversation again. Even if it's just a rumor, numbers nerds are losing their minds. Every simulation, mock-up, and analytical model has one thing in common: Jefferson in Baltimore changes everything, and the NFL landscape might never look the same. Meanwhile, the trade speculation keeps growing wilder by the day. Rumors suggest that Vikings could demand a king's ransom, possibly 2 first-round picks, a second-rounder, and maybe a young defensive star. Some outlets are even throwing in the possibility of a player-for-player swap. Could Odell Beckham Jr. or Rashod Bateman be involved? Could this trade reshape the receiver market entirely? If the deal leaks before it's official, expect fan reactions to explode on social media. Vikings fans would mourn, Ravens fans would celebrate, and neutral observers would just enjoy the chaos. NFL Twitter would be ablaze for weeks, analyzing every angle, every potential draft pick, every cap implication. The speculation alone is generating headlines bigger than most in-season storylines. Even without official confirmation, the rumor has already entered the narrative canon, becoming one of the what-ifs that would be discussed for decades. If this deal happens, the ripple effect will extend far beyond the field. From marketing, ticket sales, and merchandise to social media engagement, the impact could be astronomical. Another angle is the playoff implications, which are too huge to ignore. The Ravens, with Jefferson on board, could immediately become the favorite in the AFC. Divisional rivals would face an uphill battle, and wildcard hopefuls might see their paths blocked. The addition of Jefferson could mean the difference between a deep playoff run and a first-round exit. Analysts are already speculating about potential matchups. Divisional games could turn into highlight reels of deep passes, sideline catches, and touchdowns that decide seasons. The rumor alone has shifted betting lines, public opinion, and preseason projections. It's a scenario where even a single confirmation could cause sportsbooks to recalibrate odds overnight. Fans are buzzing about the possibility of Lamar and Jefferson connecting for 1,500-yard seasons, multiple 300-yard games, and highlight reel moments. This isn't just speculation about one player. It's about an entire playoff landscape potentially being redrawn. The NFL thrives on drama, and this rumor has all the elements: superstar blockbuster, trade playoff stakes, and social media frenzy. And finally, let's not forget the human element. Jefferson moving to Baltimore means adapting to a new city, a new fan base, and new expectations. Media scrutiny will be intense. Social media pressure will be unrelenting. Every drop, every play, every highlight will be dissected. But if there's anyone capable of handling that pressure and thriving, it's Justin Jefferson. His journey from rookie sensation to potential Ravens icon would be a story for the ages. And the rumor of his arrival has already sparked a wave of anticipation, excitement, and even fear. Fear for the competition, fear for defenses, fear for the rest of the league. Baltimore might not just be acquiring a player, they could be acquiring the catalyst for a dynasty. Whether this rumor materializes or fizzles, one thing is undeniable. NFL fans everywhere are watching, analyzing, and holding their breath. It's Justin. Jefferson in Baltimore is more than speculation. It's a potential seismic shift that could change the league forever. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.